Okay, as we continue to take our look at Fantasy Football 2013, we're going to check in with the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings don't have a whole lot in the fantasy world, but they do have the first pick in the draft, and Adrian Peterson. The quarterback is Christian Ponder, and you can certainly do worse than Christian Ponder as an NFL quarterback, and several teams do have worse quarterbacks than he is. But from a fantasy perspective, there's absolutely no reason to draft Ponder. The Vikings are a run-first team. Ponder doesn't throw enough touchdown passes, and on a touchdown interception ratio throws way too many interceptions as well. The running back, of course, AP had a terrific year last year. No reason to believe he can't have a similar type campaign this year. No one's ever rushed for 2,000 yards twice, let alone twice in a row, so I would expect that number to drop down a bit. But Peterson will certainly still have, assuming he stays healthy, 1,700 plus yards, 40 to 60 catches, and probably score 13, 14 times. He is definitely your #1 pick in the draft. At wide receiver, they have Cordell Patterson from the University of Tennessee, a rookie, and on the other side, Greg Jennings, who they picked up from the Packers. Patterson, there's no reason to think he'll be drafted. Rookie wide receivers don't typically do all that well in the NFL. It's usually their second year that they start breaking out. Greg Jennings, the longtime Packer, is someone that will be drafted, but he's no longer a first or even second-tier wide receiver. He's a third-tier guy that should be available in around 9, 10, and 11, somewhere in there, and you can pick him up. He should be the Vikings' leading receiver, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Again, Christian Ponder last year only threw 18 touchdowns, so don't expect Greg Jennings to score a number of times. Tight end is Kyle Rudolph, and he joins the multitudes of tight ends that are good but not great and deserving of consideration for you to draft, but if you don't have them, it's not a big deal. The Vikings' defense is solid. The return game I don't think is quite as explosive, but the Vikings are a team that you might consider drafting for the defense and special teams, but they're not a must-have by any stretch of the imagination. And they're not in the top 5 defenses in the league, that's for sure. And the kicker is Blair Walsh. Walsh is a terrific kicker. Lots of 50-plus yard field goals. The Vikings have a tendency to bog down because they don't pass the ball well enough and they don't have great receivers. I don't think that trend will stop this year, so I would expect Walsh to again hit a lot of 40-plus yard field goals and is one of the top 3 or 4 kicking options in the NFL. So again, Ponder at quarterback and the wide receivers I really wouldn't worry too much about for the Vikings, although Jennings will go in the middle rounds. Adrian Peterson's the first pick of the draft. Kyle Rudolph should be drafted somewhere in that 9-10 range as well at tight end, and Walsh is one of the top 5 kickers in the league.